Are you a diehard Packers fan? Then you need the Packernet podcast in your life. Tune in daily for the latest Packers news, analysis, and insights from every angle. We've got multiple shows covering everything from game breakdowns to roster updates. Don't forget our fan favorite call-in show, Packernet After Dark. That's right, you call in and talk about whatever you want. Because here, it's all about you and your passion for the Packers. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the Packernet podcast today and never miss a beat.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to Sports Management Podcast, where you will hear interesting sports management professionals share their stories, experiences, and passion for the sports management industry. I am your host, Marcus Philipson. Welcome to episode 192 of Sports Management Podcast. Today's guest is Dr. Erkut Sogut, the founding partner of Football Agent Institute. He's a sports lawyer, author, lecturer, keynote speaker, and a sports agent with clients like Kieran, Gibbs, and Mesut, Özil. This is the second time I'm honored to have Erkut on the show, and this time we discussed what he has been up to since last we spoke in 2022. Get ready to learn why he moved to the United States, his goal to become a Harvard professor, founding Pitchside Recruitment, the importance of networking, how to build winning teams, starting the Football Week, founding International Federation of Football Agents, and much more. Dr. Erkut Sogut, welcome to Sports Management Podcast.
Thank you very much, Marcus. It's great to be here again after nearly 3 years, and I'm excited to join another of your great podcasts and being honored to be the guest again.
Thank you so much. And yes, you are a reoccurring guest. You were on the show in the fall of 2022. So it's been almost 3 years and you have been up to a lot of things. But if there was someone that maybe didn't listen to the first episode, just, give like a brief background of who you are and what you do.
Okay, of course, I do that. Yeah, so as you said, my name is Erkut Sogut. I'm born and raised in Germany. I'm Turkish descent, I spent half a year of my life in India. I spent nearly a decade in London, United Kingdom. And recently, as you already mentioned, I moved to Orange County, California in 2022 summer, and living here now. And my profession, so I'm a sports lawyer / sports agent. I studied law in Germany. I've done 2 masters. I've done a PhD in sports law. I always wanted to be a professor at Harvard. Still my goal, to be honest. Never changed about that one. So still after 3 years, I talked to you last time. My goal is still end up there one day to be a professor at Harvard and teach sports law, sports management / sports marketing. And so this is, let's say, a base summary about myself. I'm working in the field for since 2001, so literally nearly 25 years in the football world in different capacity as a sports lawyer, as a sports agent, and have done various of deals in more than 30 countries around the world. Have an expanded knowledge about contracts. I love checking contracts. I love going through them and learning, and every day I learn something new when my agents in Europe send me some new contracts. Yeah, that's a little bit of myself. I have 2 boys. I tried to be a coach as well last year. I was told off after 1 year, and they said your son should be with real coaches and not with like you. I accepted it, so I realized it's not the best thing I can do being a football coach, but I still enjoyed. I've done my licenses, the grassroots licenses, and I learned, and I got a ton of respect for coaches after I've done this. Like, I got so much headache after these coaching 7-year-old. Oh my God. I'm like, when I was home, I'm like, wow, is that difficult? So being a coach is not easy. Now I see it that's a brief summary about myself.
Really interesting. And you have really tackled soccer or football from a lot of different angles, as you said. And just, you mentioned you were an agent. If someone doesn't know, representing players like Kieran, Gibbs, and Mesut Özil, and, negotiating the highest, possible deals in some of the biggest leagues in the world. So you've really seen a lot. And if someone wants, we talked about that a little bit more in depth on the previous episode. today a little bit more, it feels like you have, as you mentioned, you have some agents, you have taken a step back maybe from, the day to like the on the ground agent work, if that's how you say it. And now, you founded the Football Agent Institute and so many other things. So nowadays, for the last couple of years, where are you putting your time? What are you doing?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, for me, it was clear after London, I will not be in a day-to-day operation of an agency. And I'll take a step back, as you already said, and give it to the young agents who I educated myself over many years. I think sometimes it's a good time to give the young ones the lead. So I made Thomas Reismuth the CEO of the agency, and he's running it, and he's doing a fantastic job. And I'm really glad and really happy for what he has built after he became CEO of the company. He brought it to the next level, which I'm really proud of. And I'm still part of the team, and I'm still helping with education and educating the team members. I'm still educating new agents who will join the agency in future. And I'm still there, but more in the capacity as a lawyer for them. When it comes to contracts, they send me everything over so I can check. When they need a contact within the football world, I can open the door. Some introductions here and there. When it comes to negotiation, I try to give my input and my experience. So I'm still there with the team. I'm still a part of the team, but I will say my role has changed and being more like the sports lawyer of the agency, and let them do, because they're next generation of agents. They're really good, and I'm just watching and seeing them from here, from California, what they're doing, and it really makes me happy every day when I wake up and see the great news coming over WhatsApp channel, our WhatsApp group, or so, what's going on, signing of new players, making new deals, and it's just nice to be part of a group now. And there are still players I take care. They are here in the United States. And that's where, because we don't have an agent on the ground here, it's just me so far. But hopefully I'll educate 1-2 agents here that will be on the ground, so I can take a step back here as well. But so far, there's a player in Miami with Ian Frey. He's a fantastic right back and an amazing player, 22 years old. I take care of him here. But there's Indiana Vasilev, which we just brought from St. Louis to Philadelphia Union. He just scored at the weekend, amazing goal for Philadelphia. There's a young player who actually became a client. I was giving a lecture at Oregon State University last year, and there were some students come over from the soccer team, and they listened to my lecture. And the captain was from Germany at the time, and with Hamburg and St. Pauli. And then we kept in touch, and naturally it started helping him. And then eventually he signed with Portland Timbers a pro contract a couple of weeks back. And then there's another player at Inter Miami in the second team, Joseph. He was just with the Colombia under-20 national team at the camp. So these are the players here on the ground I'm helping. And there's another German goalkeeper, Sebastian. He just graduated from university. I'm trying to help him. So I'm still like 100% out, because he in the US, and there are some players, and it's good to be still in the business somehow, in terms of, but not like as it was before, right? With this a lot of work and travel. That's over literally, yeah. So that's from the football side.
You mentioned you moved to like 3 years ago now to the US. So how's that like work-wise? How now, when you have like been there 3 years, you have had some time to reflect. How has it been working in football and living in the US?
First of all, that the MLS is growing. And for example, half an hour south of me here is San Diego, the new franchise, the new football club. To see the region is growing massively in terms of football. You have LAFC, LA Galaxy, San Diego. Then you have Orange County, you have Ventura County. So 2 teams in the championship, the 3 teams in the MLS, and a lot of second teams of like LAFC and LA Galaxy. A lot of academies. It's a great hub for football. I think Florida and California are great places to be if you work in football, right? And therefore, it's great. And I built new relationships. I think it's important for someone to go to other places to learn. And it's a new league. It's a new structure. There's a lot of regulations involved. If you bring a player from A to B, you need to always deal with the league, the MLS, rather than with the club. And when it comes to regulation, and then, as you know, everything is capped. You have certain amount of money to spend. You rather work in budgets here. When you offer a player, the clubs will tell you they have a certain budget. And so being in this environment where something is growing is always nice. And that was my idea to come here before the World Cup. And now the Club World Cup is this summer, which is also a great event to be on the ground. Then we have the World Cup and then the Olympic Games in Los Angeles. So for me, that was important to be here on the ground to learn again and to become uncomfortable again. After being so long, nearly a decade in London, I was really comfortable. I had a good life and everything was fine. But it didn't make me to be creative that much. I felt like, okay, it's the same life and I need to move on. And the end game is Harvard anyways. I said, okay, it's a good time to go over and use the MLS and everything, the World Cup, and eventually end up in Boston for teaching. So yeah, that's what I've done. And it's great. It's a great environment for someone who is hardworking, creative, and want to achieve something in life. The US is great. But if you're lazy, you don't want to work a lot, that this is not the best place to be, I say, tell everyone. Because the system is not like in England or in Germany where you have a social system where it kind of creates a kind of safety net. Here you don't have that kind of, it's very entrepreneurial, it's very commercial, it's very company oriented. And so you need to be hardworking, you need to be smart, you need to, and I think that suits me personally. Like I'm someone who always wants to be uncomfortable. I give you an example. Since moved here, now I'm fluent in Spanish. I can teach in Spanish. I went to Mexico, to Anahuac University. I went to Cali, to the Sports Institute. I give lectures in Spanish. But if I wouldn't move to California, I would never learn Spanish in that sense, right? Because, but the environment here drives me to learn Spanish. And I said, okay, if we want to be successful here in this country, which is so connected in football to South America and Central America, you start learning Spanish. So there was no way out. So this is now, it's a part of my life. And I feel like by learning Spanish or being able to speak, I feel like more like a Mexican American, right? Because the way people talk to me and see me, okay, I'm more brown, I would say, right? I'm not the white guy or I'm not the black guy. I'm more the brown guy for people. They see me, they think I'm Mexican. The first thing they speak to me is like, hola, ¿de dónde eres? I say, soy de Guadalajara, de Mexico. I say, I'm from Guadalajara, de Mexico. And they're like, oh, de Guadalajara, sí. I speak a little bit and I say, no, soy turco, soy de Alavés, soy turco, soy no mexicano. So I speak with them and they're like, wow, you speak our language. That's amazing. I said, yes, why not? Like, I feel like learning, right? I feel constantly developing. And that America gave me that opportunity in terms of learn, develop. And everyone is an immigrant. The first time in my life, I'm in a place where everyone is an immigrant, right? There is no native. The only natives, one are the natives Americans, right? The Indians. Everyone else is an immigrant. Everyone came here. There is no someone who can say, hey, this is my country, I'm from here. That doesn't exist. Everyone comes from somewhere, either from Europe, from Asia. It's so multicultural. It's so diverse. It's unbelievable.
That's fascinating. And did you learn Spanish in 3 years or did you have any prior knowledge? Or?
No, I didn't have really prior knowledge. I've visited some courses long time ago, like probably 20 years ago. I wanted to, but I never really get into it. But I felt the only way to really learn it is to implement it in my life. Like when I'm driving here to work 20 minutes, I would listen Marca radio, right? So I listen every morning Marca in Spain, what's going on. So to football in Spanish, that's what I do, right? When I'm here at work, when I talk to my colleagues in South America, we have an agent in Cali, Colombia. I tell them like only in Spanish with me. Every message, every email, every phone call, I don't want. Everyone, my friends in Mexico, I tell them the same thing. Communicate with me solo en español. So I do that with everyone. And when I'm here in my office, I also have radio on as well, local radio in Spanish, or I listen to music. I have always Spanish somewhere, right? I was just coming back from Budapest, right? And I've been to Budapest for the football forum. On the way there, I watched 3 movies in Spanish with English subtitles. And on the way back, I watched 3 movies in Spanish with English subtitles. That's what I always do for 3 years now. I would never watch a movie anymore in English. I would say, what a waste of time to watch it in English because I speak English. But why not watching another language you want to learn, but have subtitles in English? English is my 3rd language. So Spanish is my 4th language, right? So I'm learning my 4th language with the base of my 3rd language. So when I speak, so now I'm quite fluent in Spanish. I'm thinking about starting Portuguese, right? Because that's the next closest, in my opinion, and fast. So if I would start learning Portuguese, I would learn it with Spanish. So while I learn Portuguese, I actually make my Spanish better without really knowing it, right? Unconsciousness. So I think it's a very like, if I watch Netflix, I watch series in Spanish, right? I watch many things in Spanish like that. Or if I read every night when I go to bed and sleep, I have my Harry Potter in Spanish on my phone. So I would read Harry Potter in Spanish because I read it in German and English. It's easier. So again, it's vocabulary, right? And Duolingo, it's just 5 to 10 minutes every day. That's just for vocabulary. So it's a part of my life. So when I sit with my kids at home, they watch Netflix, something on Netflix or Disney usually, any Encanto for the 100th time or Moana, I would put Spanish subtitles. So when I sit with my boys and watch something, I have to. So I can use the time to read Spanish. So reading, listening, watching constantly makes learning something very fast. So it becomes automatically a part of your life.
Yeah, you really been able to optimize your day, because like, so many people like, I don't have time to go to the gym, and then you watch Netflix for 3-4 hours. I mean, you're proving that like you have time. It's your prioritization. You said like you can be with your kids and still learn some Spanish. Or I mean, you have written several books, you have several companies, you do teaching, you learn languages. I mean, how do you work on time management? How do you get, your day to go around with this many things to do at the same time?
Yeah, it's a very good question. When it comes to companies, I build it with people. So I'm someone who invests in people. I don't invest in companies. I never invested in any company like other people. Oh, you know what? I'm buying shares from this company. I never done this. I don't understand it, so I never done it. But I know people. I'm a teacher of my base, right? I'm someone who can educate people. And I invest in people. All my team members are my investments. In any company I build it with people and I let them run it. So I'm not there building it and then running it. I'm building it with them. I'm still there, but I'm not day-to-day operation guy. So I will let them run. I give them the responsibility to make mistakes, to learn, to get better. So I'm there, I'm guiding, I'm leading in some capacity, but I'm not running these companies. So that's the key thing to have a great team. You need to find right people to build a great business. I don't believe the other way around. So with great people, you can trust, you can build something on a long term. And that's what I do. All my businesses are long-term investment into people. And with these people together, I build a great business. So that's the model, right? So that's why it's working. That's why if it comes to the football agency, Grow, it's run by guys. If it comes to my recruitment company, Pitchside, it's run by other guys with me together. If it comes to my education company, right, the Sports Agent Academy, again, it's run by guys in Germany, in England, and with me together. Right? So it is all, and I have some other companies as well, which I created with others in the past. A social media agency. I have a concierge business in London where we look after more than 50 Premier League players' daily business. So these are all run by others, right? I build them together with them, but I'm not running it, right? So I trust in people. I trust the people who I educate, and that's kind of businesses I do. And I believe, for me, I'm lucky having great people. That's why I can do so many things at the same time, because I have an amazing team. Without them, I would be not like 10% of the success I've achieved in my life, honestly. So I'm really lucky to find right guys in my life and to go with them together and build something together. So I can only do that because I have them.
So when you build these great teams, you need to find the right individuals that you obviously have done. So what are some, there are people listening that they're looking for jobs and, they want to get into the sports industry. So what are some qualities that you look for, or something that you see in someone that makes you go like, I want to hire this guy or this girl?
The feeling you get after a while, it's interesting. So because even this morning, I've talked to 3 different people, each 15 minutes. So because I told my team members back in UK, because there's so many young students, someone contacted us either through email or through the socials, my team, and say, hey, I would like to meet Dr. Erkut Sogut. I would like to talk to him. And then we said, okay, why don't we create a system? Every morning, I have this 45 minutes secured for 3 people, each 15 minutes, just to learn about them, just to give them also the chance, because I started where they're starting today, right? Simple. So I want to give back and I want to talk to them. And then you feel in these 15 minutes already, if someone is really genuine and someone really want to achieve something. And because I've met so many students all over the world, right? And I've given lectures in so many countries, and I meet them every time. So I kind of get a feeling who really wants it. And there are two kind of different personalities. Some people only only dreams about it. They just have the idea. I want to become a football agent. I want it. But that's just the idea. And some people, they're like, I want to become a football agent. Okay, I will go the extra mile, whatever it costs. I will sacrifice all my weekends. I'm not going out partying. I'm not drinking alcohol because it smells when I'm 11 o'clock in the morning with the dad. I will be always fit, ready 24/7 every day. I'll do whatever it costs. Energy, time, money. I'll dedicate myself. So if you have these people, you know already they will become successful eventually. And the other ones who have always these ideas coming and going, yeah, I can definitely do this. I'm good in that. And then you see them like Friday and Saturday night party, no dedication, no waking up in the morning and watching games, right? Taking the train for 3 hours, standing on the cold next to the field. Maybe you will talk to a dad that day, maybe. Who takes that risk? Not many people. People go studying and they enjoy life. And they waste 4, 5, 6 years of their lives just being partying and studying. And then they come out, they have nothing, right? I think the ones I met along the way are the ones who are really sacrifice a lot, who are dedicated a lot, and who really believe and can see it and visualize it, what they want to achieve. And to finding these one, I tell you, out of 1,000, it's one. It is what it is. It's the reality. Most of them won't make it because most of them don't have really this dedication to really want it. They just have this idea, but they don't really want it. Because if you really want it, nothing can stop you. There's no force out there, if you really committed to something, that can stop you from what you're doing. That means you don't really want it. And I tell them, hey, I don't think you should become an agent because you don't really want it. And you should do something else. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Just focus on something else. Because that's just an idea, just a dream, a vision you had for a second. But you're not doing enough for it. Simple.
Yeah, that's it's interesting, and I mean, then it's even more incredible that you have managed to find. You said it's like 1 in 1,000, and you have been able to find like several people to build several companies with.
That's over 20 years.
Yes,
right? So the football agency is 7 agents only, 7. So having 7 agents in 20 years who run a business is not a big number. You meet people along the way, and they're the best ones I've ever educated. So that's it's not many out there. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of people will pass the agent exam. It's not difficult to become a FIFA licensed agent, but it's difficult to work as one, to want to become really successful. That's a different story. The agent exam is only 1%. 99% is your way of working.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And I mean, as we talked about before, you mentioned briefly like pitchside recruitment. So that's a little bit, I guess it's still in the football industry,
Yes.
but a little bit different, in recruitment versus your agent work. So how come that you founded the pitchside recruitment?
So Pitchside was, once I moved here to the United States, I said to the guys, I don't want to represent any more players, right? Just have the ones in the US. So I want to represent, because some of my clients, like a Kieran Gibbs, is now working for Inter Miami in the media department. So I have clients like that. I said I would like to work with them because I'm a lawyer as well. So I like representing people working inside clubs. So that was for me a new way of thinking and a new way of, okay, use the network, use the way I am in this environment of football to actually work with club owners and franchises directly together to find them the right candidate, right? And this is what I've started. And it's something I really love doing, by the way. It's different than representing a player. It's nicer, or no, I wouldn't say nicer, it's different, but it's very it's good for me because as a lawyer, it suits as well my place in terms of doing a contract for someone working in a football club, which is an employment contract as well. And with people who are more, they're usually older, they have family, they're more settled in life. It's a different kind of, it's not the 15, 16-year-old player where you have to deal with the parents, for example. as an agent. Here, I deal directly with the decision taker, with the coach, the sporting director, the CEO. So I just give you some examples of this year. Recently, I placed the CEO to Colombia, to Equidad Football Club, right? And Nicolas Maya, and again, he was a client. I know the owners of the club. They're here in the United States. So I brought two parties together, so to say, because I believe these owners will be very good with the CEO and he will help them to grow. And later on, I brought them also the director of scouting inside the club. A couple of weeks later, I brought to Swansea the CEO in England, right? So with Tom. So what I do is like, I'm talking to these owners and to these decision takers and clubs and try to help them to find right candidates. And I have Louis in Germany and Ruben in Germany who are part of this Pitchside, and also Nureddin, another friend. So we are a couple of people growing it together. Again, it's not just me. I kind of started it with rolling the ball, and I said, guys, this is the pathway. And to one of the guys who wanted to become actually play agent, Ruben, I said, no, you should join me on this journey on Pitchside, because I think you're more a headhunter, recruiter, and you will be very successful by representing people off the pitch. And that's what he started with us as well. So this is and actually people say, how did you start at this? I haven't even I can show you, the listeners can't see it, but it's called Executive Recruiting for Dummies, right? So that was my first book. I wanted to learn about that. I checked executive recruiting and I found this book, but actually it's really good, right? So I made a note for myself. It says, my job is to find the best talent for football clubs. Best talent means in terms of people working inside. Yeah. Look, it says also interesting, the best talent isn't looking for a work. They already have a job, a good job. So there are things like this you learn from these kind of books. And that was the first book. Of course, I've read other things and articles. I checked how other recruitment companies are working, who's in the market, how do they recruit. So it's just interesting for me to learn. And because I think German in that sense, you need to learn the profession before you're doing it, right? So we call it in Germany Umschulung. It's like going from one profession to another. You kind of go to school for that. And that's what I've done. I have literally learned for a year how to become a headhunter. That was my, again, in new profession, so to say.
But of course, like in order to be a good recruiter, you need to have a good network. And I mean, that's something you have built up for whatever, 20, 30 years that you've worked in this industry. So of course that helps. But then obviously, as you said, you need to educate yourself because it's a different role now than you were before.
I think to be successful in anything in life, you need two things. You need the knowledge and you need networking. When you combine both, you'll be a long-term successful person in any business. It doesn't matter which business. If you only are very good in education and you're fantastic, but you don't know the right people, it will bring you until to a certain momentum. You'll become successful. But if you also know right people and you're very good in what you do, you'll become very successful. And in the long term, you can build something. I think for anyone out there listening, always focus on these two things. Do whatever you do really good, but also start networking in the best way. So you have, when the right opportunities arises, you know the right people. It's so important.
Definitely. So you started Pitchside Recruitment in September of 23, and then in December the same year, you also founded the Football Week. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Actually, both are connected with each other. That's the interesting story. Because when I started this recruitment business and I was going into it and I'm learning and I'm thinking, how do you keep in touch with very successful people out there? Like successful in terms of important people in football, right? The owner of a football club, the sporting director of a football club, the president of a football club, a very famous coaches, and so on, right? And I know them, and I know not all of them. Of course, over the past 20 years, I met some very high-profile people. And I would like to work with them when it comes to recruitment. How do I do that? And how do I keep in touch with these people, actually? The idea was like, how do you keep in touch with important people without losing them, So, and the key answer to that is always adding value. So the best thing in life you can do if you want something from someone is add first value to that person without asking anything in return. When you add valuable things to someone, they will see you, they will take it, and it will be great. And it builds something between you and the person. So what I've done is like in December, I just think I need to write. Because I remember the time back in 2001 when I wanted to join a football agency and they said they don't take interns. They've never took anyone. I started making for them a magazine without they wanting it. And I've done 7-8 magazines a month. Like every month I was bringing them a magazine to make that agency better with great content. And eventually it helped. This magazine brought me into business where I am today. So I thought back at the time and I said, okay, over 20 years ago, magazines help you. Why don't you do a magazine for football executives? And then I literally use my Gmail account and I've written like 5-6 pages of content that was very like, the beginning. And then I choose like 50 people in my network, like 50 people I know for a long time, over a decade or so. And I sent them on a Sunday night the email. So Monday morning, most of them were in Europe. When they woke up, they saw my email, right? Coming from me with this attached document. And then the response was amazing right away. I said, wow, that's amazing. All the most important news in one place. It doesn't exist like that. That's fantastic. So I asked them, do you like it? What do you like? What you don't like? So, and then I increased every week the number of people who I sent it to. So eventually it came up to 500. And I didn't know by the time that Gmail allows you only to send 500 emails a day. Otherwise you need to buy another package or whatever. And I reached 500 and I couldn't send it on that night. Some people so what's going on? It doesn't go out. Something is wrong. And it was like already doing it every week. I didn't want to look bad. I said, oh my God. Then I realized, okay, Gmail is limited. So I went to MailChimp. I figured out, okay, what can we do? MailChimp. So now I started actually building the data, getting more information about these people, when there's their birthday and everything, right? Their city they live. So I could create more data as well. So it was good. So I used that. And it's until today, it's like it's growing. And when I ask people in football executive, they say that's the best thing out in the market. There's nothing similar to it, right? And that's said to me by owners of football clubs, right? By investors, by big people who are reading it, right? And so now it's thousands of people reading the Football Executive every Monday. And it was called before the Football Week when I started the magazine. But I love the idea of the Football Week, the brand, so much that I kept Football Week as the head brand of the company, the name. And I changed the Monday magazine from Football Week to Football Executive because it addresses executives, football executive. That's the beginning. Actually, the only reason why I started this magazine was actually only to keep in touch with people without bothering them, but add them some value. That's how I started it.
I love that with adding value. I think when you do something for someone without asking something in return, like the return on investment on that is incredible because we want, as you said, like you invest in people, you want to have a relationship. You don't want to have a transactional relationship. Like I do this for you, so you do this for me.
Exactly. Agree.
I love that. Yeah, you said the football executive, but it's also the women's league, the agents week. You have like more of this as well.
Yeah. So again, everything happens natural. By the way, nothing is planned, right? In terms of there's no strategy why we have today separate magazines, because it's on demand. So once we started the Football Executive, and after half a year, it really was settled, and people really liking it. And there were some people working in women's football, and they were also seeing the Football Executive. They say, "Hey, Erkut, this is so good, but this is for men's football. Why don't you do something for women's football?" And I'm like, "Okay, that would be another magazine." And then I created a team, right? I created a team of great people who are working in women's football today still. And I said that we want to create this magazine together. And then I told them what we're doing with the Football Executive. They loved the idea. So we started the Women's League, which is a magazine goes out every Tuesday. And we interview every Tuesday a person from women's football. It's so nice. I think the Women's League changed a lot and added so much value to the magazines, to the one already there. Then after this, I had some talks with some friends in Europe, and we were talking about what's the next generation in terms of football, where they will go and which part of football. Parents. If people underestimate the value of parents, then I said, okay, that's interesting. So that they gave me the idea of doing something only for parents, to educate parents of football players. Because if you have one player, you have at least 2 family members, sometimes 3 with brother or so that means you reach more people than a player. So create content for parents. And then again, for the Parents Week, I have a nutritionist from England. I have a sports psychologist with Simon from England, and someone from Millfield School in England as well, right? So Jono Santry, he's the head of Millfield School, and he's also the head of the under-18 independent national team of England from the independent schools. So them 3 are the writers for the Parents Week every week. We add some content to it, but it's them. So we created again. I created a team with 3 amazing personalities, and they're doing it every week. They create content for parents, right? From a sports psychologist perspective, from how is football and education work at the same time, or nutritionist, very important what you eat and drink every day. And then we add some other content to it, right? And Thursdays, we have the student athlete. Thursdays is the student athletes because the United States, we have over 500,000 student athletes at the universities. And we have 8.5 million high school athletes who want to become a student athlete. And there's no weekly magazine for student athletes in this country. It doesn't exist, right? And again, that came to a time, not that I planned it. A friend of mine, who became a friend of mine, he was working for NCAA at the headquarters. He's a lawyer, PhD guy, worked in NIL, worked for many universities, 5 years worked in NCAA, and he was leaving. And it was a perfect time. And I was like, hey, Ayas, would you like to build something like a magazine and with me together for this audience? He loved the idea. I made him the CEO of the magazine, and he's running it. There are like 6 people or 7 people included in it, 2 former student athletes. So they do that every week. So it's amazing what they create as a content and build together. And Fridays, we have the Agents Week. That's probably the most normal area where people know me from, right? That's the Agents Week. That goes now to 3,500 agents worldwide. Every Friday, the Agents Week, and it's massive. That's growing very rapidly. And that's the Agents Week. And then new things we started recently, Saturdays, we have the Players Week. That goes to football players, any age group. And the latest magazine we started on Sunday is the Fans Week. That's for fans, from fans to fans. And there we want to implement fans, real fans for many years in clubs to be part of this magazine. So they write it with us together. So diehard fans from 5, 6 different clubs, they actually contribute. And there we want to share a lot of things, like we want to share jerseys. We want to do like a lot of things like, so that's in the beginning. So 7 magazines. And it became part of my life. That's why I built the studio here, because creating these magazines went to the next stage. We created the website, the Football Week, which we have articles every day. I don't know if you've seen it, Marcus. We release every day new articles. And my goal was from the beginning, have articles in different languages. So because the world, you kind of unite people by respecting and getting their language in it. So we have in Africa, I think 4 or 5 already different languages articles on our website, right? Like Swahili is spoken by 100 million people in Kenya and Tanzania. So it's a big language. So again, we have articles, 80% English and 20% world voices. And this is a great website now. It's growing very rapidly as well. And this is the studio, is the final step of our now media company. I would call it a small, tiny media company. This is the video podcast studio, right? There we will be like the podcast videos. We will do like listening the podcast and watching the YouTube channel. That's the next step. That's where we will invite people from these communities of 7 different magazines, from Monday an executive until Sunday a fan. We want to invite to the show in the beginning online, but in future I will go to places and meet them and do it on stage with them. So in some different way. So that's the goal. Yeah. So I think I talked too much, didn't I?
No, for sure not. It's super interesting. So there's a podcast in the work also. That's basically what you said there. Happy to hear that.
Yes, there's a podcast. So I need a lot of your help and a lot of your experience, my friend.
Of course, anything. Now when people are think, okay, he's done the sports law, he's done the agency, he has written fictional and non-fictional books. It's how to be an agent, and all of these things. Now then, Pitchside Recruitment and Football Week, and the podcast. Okay, that's plenty as is. But then also I've read that you are the founding president of the International Federation of Football Agents. So you couldn't.
I couldn't stop. Huh?
you
just
couldn't stop there.
Yeah, I mean that was like, again, it's natural. It's not like planned ahead or something. It was like, I always wanted to unite agents. I always had the goal in my life to bring agents under one umbrella. And now agents are licensed, right? You need to become a FIFA licensed agent. And I thought it was the right time to bring agents together and to give them a platform. Because when I talk to these agents all over the world, Marcus, and the most difficult part is actually after passing the agent exam. So what's next? So people are falling into like a hole. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They don't know what's the next step. So what do I do? Like, now I passed the agent exam. I learned for it 6 months, 3 months, whatever. Now I'm happy and proud. I'm a FIFA licensed agent. But what's next? Right? And I think IFFA is the answer to that. For next, it's a place where agents coming together from all over the world. We have now over 91 countries and over 550 agents within 3 months. What we've built so far, and it's growing every day. I get every day new applications to join IFFA, and I assume towards the end of the year we will have 1,000 members. So with the new agent exam happening in June, a lot of people will pass and a lot of people will join us. And I actually trying to do like give them a platform where they can network with each other. So for someone living in Uganda or in Malaysia, how can they network with someone here in the United States? Or how can someone in the United States find an agent in South Korea? If you have them as members into one platform, and then have their email address or their phone, contact details, and then we have a list of different agents in different countries, they can network with each other. They can find others and work together. And also the message is how to learn to work with others. Because in the agency world, you need to work with other agents. It's very rare that you do it on your own. You can't be at the same time and everywhere. It's impossible. Sometimes you represent the selling club, sometimes the buying club, sometimes the coach, sometimes the player. Sometimes you work with 3 other agents at the same deal because you have the player, but you don't have the contact to the club. Another agent is helping you. Learning and working together with each other is important. That's I believe the platform creates the solution for that. But also we have invited sporting directors to our online meetings. We do every 3 to 4 weeks. We have an online meeting that everyone can join. And I have always invited guests, right? I've invited the sporting director from Brazil. So suddenly the members can ask a question to a sporting director. For them before, it was like they couldn't even find a scout. Suddenly they can ask a question and listen what the sporting director from Brazil actually expects from a good agent. How should you as an agent approach a club? Is it an email? Is it a text message? What should you say? Should you send a transfer mark link of a player? So that's sporting director explains them what to do. And then we had another sporting director who was in Europe, and then we listened to him. He was a sporting director in Saudi Arabia. So we listened to his experiences. And then the other week we had someone from data. We invited someone who has a data company in football. So we wanted to learn, is data important for agents? And if yes, how? What do we need to do? So we have an ongoing educational experience here. We educate them. We introduce them to these people. They can see, who are these people? What are they doing? And they get closer to the business. So the goal is to keep going on that, to keep being a platform where my next goal is to bring an owner of a football club. So they will suddenly say, wow, I mean, look, this platform is not generally for the one who have done 100 Premier League deals. He will not join us or join the community. Maybe, but mostly he won't see maybe. But this is a platform for someone who want to become successful or someone who is in the middle or have trouble. But yes, there are also very successful agents, members. I'm not saying there's only starters. There's the biggest agent here in the United States. He's also a member, right? So in terms of players, we have them, or in Canada, or in In Germany, we have big agents. In Turkey, we have. I'm just saying the majority who will join us is like they want to learn, they want to network, they want to connect with other people, they need a platform. It's like creating a community where they feel safe, right? And we have a board. We created the boards where we have one member, a board member from every country in the world who is membership is with us. So, for example, we have a director for Zimbabwe. He's an agent and a lawyer. We have a director for Nigeria. He's an agent and lawyer at the same time based in Abuja. So we have someone from Morocco. We have someone from Algeria and so on, but globally. So we bring it also on the board member together, creating task force. And this morning, there was the task force of marketing and sponsorship. They had a call. I wasn't even there. So the guys who understands marketing, comes from marketing and sponsorship, we created a group. And they're now negotiating with the data company to get a data product for agents half price. So again, it's something we do for the agents, right? And also becoming a one voice is important in the agency world. If we deal with problems that interest us, right, it is important for us to be their one voice to say, we want to address this issue for agents so we can go together.
What a platform you create for these agents and, the networking opportunities and that's the knowledge that these guest speakers, if we call them that, will bring.
Definitely. Yeah. Every member is getting the Agents Week every Friday. They have ongoing readings. We also market them there. It's a marketing platform for agents to create a profile. We say this week we introduced this agents from this country. So other members and non-members can see it, this person, like a presentation of the person to put themselves out there into the market.
That's great. I think we covered most of the things that you have done since we spoke last. You mentioned that one goal of yours is to be a professor at Harvard, right?
Yeah, I'm still not there. Our next episode will be if I'm a Harvard professor. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah, so are you working actively towards that somehow? Or when do you see this goal being met?
Honestly, what means actively working? Everything I do is actually actively working towards it. Because becoming a Harvard professor means you need to be good in practical world and in theoretical world. So I think they're the best of the best. So I need to be top in what I do. This media company is so important to become a good Harvard professor. It's sports media, sports agency, sports recruitment, sports and law. I'm in all these fields. And the more I write, the more books I publish, I think the more I feel I make one step closer to that goal, right? So I got a call from someone else from another top university and said, why don't you come first here? And then I said, yeah, maybe, you never know, right? I'm like, but at the moment I'm here. What I do is I'm giving guest lectures constantly to learn and to increase so I gave 2 weeks ago, like before I went to Budapest, I was like, on a Monday, I give an online lecture for University of Tampa. On Tuesday, I went to San Diego to the university to give a lecture physically. On Wednesday, I gave a lecture physically at UC Irvine, here where I live at the University of California. On Thursday, there was like a normal working day in the office. On Friday, I gave a lecture to a Turkish university online, right? To sports law students. So teaching is a part of my life, right? It's nearly every week I have at least 1 or 2 online or physical lectures. So with other words, I am working towards it, right? I am working towards this goal. And I think eventually it will happen when the right time is there. I'm not forcing it. I'm not like, I want to come there. I would love to from them, because I gave already a lecture at Harvard Business and at Harvard Law School. I would love to, when it's the right time, you get the right call. I believe that in life. But you need to put yourself out there, do the best thing, and wait for this phone call that they call you and say, we'd like to have you and we'd like to talk with you about an opportunity working here. Let's see when this will happen.
I'm sure it will happen at some point, and then if not before, then we can speak again for a third time and see how that experience been like.
Yes, definitely. We'll do that.
So if you remember from last time, I like to end with a networking question. So we have talked a lot about networks, and who from your network do you think would be a good guest on this podcast?
Did you already talk to Bruno Costa?
Yes. Bruno has been. I think that was the one you
I introduced you to him? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Did you talk to Nicola Innocenti?
No.
Yeah, he was the last job he had was a sporting director in Saudi Arabia. So before he was a former football player. He played also in Germany, like in Augsburg and so, but he's from Italy. And then he worked for different clubs in Italy, in Bologna, I think, and very interesting personality. He also worked as an agent for a while. So he covers the football also from different angles. He could be very, very, and he's an amazing personality. You will like talking to him and chatting with him.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking a note of that and we'll do that for sure. Erkut, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Sports Management Podcast.
No, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. And it's always great to be back to the show. And I'm looking forward to come back and feature again and wish you good luck with your amazing podcast. Keep going on like that. Don't stop. You're on the right way, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the Sports Management Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought about this episode. If you want to get in contact with me, send an email to sportsmpodcast@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram @sportsmpodcast.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.